Maia Wilson! This is who I am as a proud Māori. I do the karakia, and you go, someone's looking, but like, what are you doing that for?
There has been a time, and it was a while ago now, as a part of the Ferns, we were gifted a haka, and I remember we learnt it, but we never actually ever performed it to anyone outside of that. And I find this a little bit challenging, because when people choose to write, compose and also put actions to something, this is a gift, this is a taonga. If a taonga is going to be given to you, you need to be able to take care of it. Maybe you are amazing and you might not be getting picked for that team, but maybe you just weren't, that team wasn't fit right for you. Most Māori and Pacific women in particular, we're big boned and we're strong. Sometimes I reckon we can lift heavier than any men you put in front of us. I know there's some people who go to the BFT down the road that are women that can lift, like they can squat over 200 kgs. It's our power, it's in our legs, it's in our arms. The best thing that I've identified is who are the people that will support me. My mum. Mum doesn't talk to me about netball. I don't talk to her about netball because I do the same thing. Have you been in my position? Have you played here? No. So you don't know what I'm going through. And yes, you've been at every single game, been watching it since I was however years old. You haven't lived it. You haven't been on the court.
And you're spitting some facts, and you're spitting some real deep stuff, Maia.
I feel I'm back at school learning in the media broadcasting industry. I'm excited by it because, I'm a learner. I'm a student again in a field where I feel like I've got some potential, but I've got so much room for growth and learning. The
transition, we talk about transition tonight, the whole night. Transition, you're progressing into this new and evolving, even more so as not just a netballer, but Maia, the person, figuring out who you are. What else am I good at? What else is outside of netball? For me, I think all tangata whenua can sing.
I remember one night we were having a drinks with stars. We posted a story of us singing Getting Stronger, and I got so embarrassed because the person who wrote that song and starred in it decided to reply to my story. I felt so shamed.
Was it go get listen to me? Was it,
so now you're going high. You're going an octave higher. Listen to me, I'm feeling afraid of something in my life that is wrong. Say that's all you're going to get from me because that's terrible.
Oh, no,
I can't sing. I honestly
you're
can't
lying.
sing. That's
you're
not even
lying, man. Mandate. Welcome to Mandate, where we navigate fresh perspectives and nothing is off the table. Tonight's guest is from Tāmaki Makaurau, South Okilani. She is an amazing individual who happens to be an amazing wahine toa and has played at the highest level. Professional athlete, highest level in netball, who's represented the Silver Ferns, also played for and represented Central Pulse, and also the Northern Stars. She's was the top scorer in 2018, 2019, and led the Northern Stars as the captain, but also just recently has just joined the Northern Mystics. She is an amazing individual who has an amazing story to share. Please put your hands together for the one and only Maia Wilson!
I got the full boxing walkout, call out. Listen to that.
Oh, Maia, thank you so much for coming on the podcast tonight. Kia koutou and mahalo lau sui fua. Maia, it is an absolute privilege to have an amazing individual like yourself who is a professional athlete but also has played at the highest level in terms of netball. So where do we start, Maia? Because we could go about netball, we can talk about what's happening in your life right now, we can talk about whatever you want to go. But in terms of starting, how about Northern Mystics? Maybe we can touch on that. 2000, this year, 2025, 27th of August, you've now joined the Northern Mystic. And so how has that been in terms of the transition and the new environment?
Yeah, it is really different. If you ask me probably this time last year, where would I be in the year? This may not be the answer, but really excited to tackle a new opportunity. I guess I've been playing professional netball since I was 18 and I have 10 seasons under my belt now. 9 of them I played for the same team, a team that I felt like I was representing my people of South Auckland. I gave my heart and soul, and it was a time where I had given every inch or every percent of who I was, and probably was burning the candle at both ends. So I guess for me, this new transition period is looking at how do I focus on myself? Where do I feel like I can improve the gaps in my game? And the exciting opportunity came at the Mystics. So with a bit of bitter sweetness, I guess, in leaving something that I considered home and a safe space, has now changed into a new direction of what if? Yeah. What's next? I feel like I'm going to be a 5-year-old walking into my first day of school again. And I think there's so much more to develop and question and grow within myself. So I think I'm taking this self-learning, self-development time in my career. I feel like I'm probably in the last 5 years. So there's still more to learn.
That's cool. You said focusing on yourself because... And you're an athlete, you're a professional athlete, and you're busy, you're training, and this is, Northern Stars has been your home for some time. And now you, like you said, it's a new transition, it's figuring out a little bit more so of who you are. So in the transition, what do you do? What do you need to do in terms of how do I need to get myself or be grounded in this new environment? What are some of the steps you've kind of learned thus far?
Yeah, I feel like we're in different stages now. So I've gone through the last of my seasons with the Stars, finishing up in July of 25. I have now taken a sabbatical or made myself unavailable for Silver Fern selection. So for the next year, but really it's just the next 6 months. So I've decided to, I'm learning new things. I'm trying to get work experience for the first time in my life. I've been going into media works and trying to figure out what happens around there and doing some TV stuff and focusing on how do I fill my cup as a person and that next transition in life. So that's pretty much where I currently am. I feel like I'm a sponge sort of soaking up everything that there is in my current environments. And then in January next year, in January 26, we will head into the pre-season for the ANZ Premiership. So that's when I'll start with the Mystics. So I guess for me, it's finding new things out about myself. How do I learn something? I haven't had the time in my life or my career to do something else other than netball. So how do I fill my cup? And that's sort of where I'm at in this sort of stage of my life.
Oh, that's awesome. And I like that you get that perspective. Because some people think, okay, I'm a pro athlete, and after that, what do I do? Because sometimes that's the case. I've heard some friends who are pro athletes after their career and so forth. They're like, oh, what do I do now? Because I've been in the game for many years, and so after when it's done and dusted, like, okay, what do I do now? And how do I find myself? And I like what you said, what you're doing right now, before you finish or you end your career, that you're still trying to figure out new things about yourself. And I've seen you on TV, and obviously I'm playing netball, but I see you on the commentary and then talking with it, and you seem quite comfortable in that space. Is that something that you're thinking, you know what, I might just give this a go?
Well, exactly. I sort of thought to myself, you got to enjoy and love what you do for work, because then you're not working a day of your life. And so I thought, what am I really good at? And I said, I can talk to a brick wall. If there's one thing I can do, I can open my mouth and words can come out. And I backed myself on how I can articulate myself. So I thought, why not get paid to do that? And just that. So this is that point of my life at the moment. I'm not getting paid to do that right now. Well, I have had some opportunities arise, but what else surrounding this broadcasting, this media environment, what other skills can I pick up? Because I don't want to transition out of netball and only be the voice. I want to be able to know how to push the buttons and work the cameras, or what are the systems that go into making a production like this come alive. So I want to be multiversed and multi-talented so that it's harder for people to say no to me.
That's awesome. I like the way you're thinking. It sounds quite entrepreneurial. I don't know if there's something. Is that something in the pipelines? Because you sound like you want to, in terms of, okay, this is what I want to do. Instead of just focusing on one thing, you want to be multitasking. Okay, I want to do this and that. If I can do this and that, then maybe there's more opportunities out there. And so TV. What else? What else are you thinking of doing thus far? Because you seem like you're juggling a lot of balls, but what are some of the other things besides TV, besides netball or whānau that we're not privy, or people are not privy to know about Maia?
I think what people don't know about me as much is I'm the most open book private person you can get. So when I say about that, I am not the biggest person on social media. I should be, because you can get a lot out of it, but I find it real hoha. Like I find trying to show a persona of something that is so filtered and so fixated. That's not me. I'm very raw. I'm very, people who know me know I'm black and white. I'm very direct. But when I come into sort of a professional space or anything around netball, I am quite PC and I fit a box because I don't ever want to do something to piss someone off or to put my job at risk or opportunities to close off. So I think for me, my happy space at the moment is I have a 2-year-old niece. She is on my partner's whānau, but she is bilingual and she is Māori. And so my partner is Pākehā, but his brother-in-law is Māori, so they've sent their girl to Kohanga. And so the most beautiful thing about, we live on the family farm at the moment, and when I say whānau farm, there are 8 people who live on the same driveway and they're all related. And so our 2-year-old niece, she lives right next door, and the beauty of this is that I'm one of the only people that can communicate with her in her native tongue. So the best thing for me is seeing someone who's mine but not mine, but be able to make a connection of there's more to life, and a connection where she is helping me with my reo. I haven't grown up in kura kaupapa or wharekura. I went to Mount Albert Grammar School. I'm a Mags girl. I am a Mags girl. I was in their puna and I mostly learnt te reo at home, but I wouldn't call myself fluent. I would say I'm very conversational, but whenever I have to get into a space where I have to hop in front of a camera and kōrero Māori, that makes me quite anxious and whakamā. But this beautiful 2-year-old has been bringing me out of my shell and being able to develop my own reo. So yeah, at home on the farm, we are feeding cows and horses and we're going for walks. And the best part is I drop her off every Monday morning and I see the beauty of a bilingual baby who will be kōrero Māori to me. And in the same breath, she turns to my partner and speaks English. And I see the power and I see my future. I see this baby, this 2-year-old is living what I want my kids to live. So it shows positivity in my world in other spaces that haven't been ignited in a while. So yeah, big emphasis on whānau, reo, what's out there in terms of mahi and work outside of it. Netball's at the side at the moment, but what is filling my cup at the moment is a 2-year-old girl called Navy Waipunarangi Law, but I call her Taku Puti Puti, which means my flower. So she is the apple of my eye and she is my screensaver, and even though she's my partner's niece, she is mine.
Kia ora whānau, talofa lava. Just want to mention AOKNZ. AOKNZ stands for Acts of Kindness. They are an organisation that travels up and down the motu that does suicide prevention, intervention and wellbeing training. And so they proudly sponsor the Mandate Podcast in partnership with the Mandate Podcast. So check them out if you want to be equipped and learn how to have these life-supporting conversations. AOKNZ. Check them out. Oh, that's beautiful. And it seems like it's quite common now, Maia, in terms of kōrero Māori or Pasifika, or going back to your roots and your lineage or your culture, in terms of Māori, in terms of your whakapapa and your wā te reo. What's been kind of the biggest learning in terms of trying to grasp the culture and so forth? But why has it been something intricate part of who you are more so now?
Yeah, I think I was raised in a very staunch Māori household, but my parents felt like they wanted us to be able to stand in both the Māori world and the modern world quite confidently. So at that time, they felt to put my brother and I through mainstream education, but te reo was what we heard at home. And I think in addition to that is growing up in Auckland, my dad is, we whakapapa to Mangere. So my roots...
To some fun.
Yeah,
to some
my
fun.
roots are South Auckland. My roots, but on one side, on my grandmother's side, she is from Waiuku, and on my grandfather's side, he whakapapas to Mangere. So being an urban little girl, Māori girl, being able to go to your marae and go to your maunga and actually feel where my ancestors, my tupuna stood was really important to me, and especially the Manukau Harbour. And so I've grown up majority of my life between Hillsborough and Mangere, and in between, the thing that stands in between those two suburbs is Te Manukunuku Hoturo, the Manukau Harbour, and Te Pane o Mataoho, Mangere Mountain. Two of the forefronts of importance for my people. And now as a 27-year-old woman who has moved out to Kumu, West Auckland, I feel so disconnected in a way. So this baby has helped, not reignite, but help keep those fires embering in myself. So I've always been so close to where I'm actually from. So to be chucked out on the west side feels really foreign.
Yeah, something about the west side, eh?
There's something about, there's something about it, eh? I grew up we were raised going to Otahu, to Food City on Mason Ave, to going to Samwoo's, to going to Otara markets on a Saturday. Otara, yeah. My favourite kai everyone knows is steak and egg fried bread from Otara on a Saturday morning. And if you go to those markets and you only go for the fruit and veggies, there's something wrong with you, and you're not Māori and you're not Pasifika, because we go for the food. We go for the hearty food. So yeah, there's something about, I feel a sense of tau. I feel very settled being Central South.
Yeah, because it's home, mate. It's home.
It's home.
Home is where the heart is. Obviously, South Tāpiki Makaurau, but also you're out west now. You're out west, Kumu, and bless your heart, you're West Auckland. But there's 2-year-old, because she sounds like a real character, and there's something about these kids who just the purity and the innocence of a child. Yeah, and you can learn a lot from kids, and so. In terms of the bilingual, the identity and culture, in terms of who you are as a person, how much of that do you bring to the court? How much of your culture you bring to the court, whether you're in the team or when you're on the court, when you're goal shooting or goal attack? How much is that in terms of who you are is represented on the court? Yeah,
it's a double-edged sword, this question, because I'm probably one of the more prominent women who have been raised within their culture, or who have very knowledgeable or staunch Māori parents, and so a lot of the time I am the kai karakia. I am the one who does all the loku for the food, for the kai, for the mea, for like everything you name it. That's me. I often get asked to be a kai karanga. I get asked in ways to be the cultural supervisor, or there's many parts of that job, and I can't talk about my role in Mystics because that hasn't started yet, but at least in my experience with Stars, and because I was mana whenua, I am people of that exact land, there was often an assumption, or I would take on the responsibility of making sure that everything was culturally safe, or that there was tikanga and kawa, there were protocols that were put in place so that we were doing things the right way and the safest way. My mum was heavily involved with helping form the cultural safety of the club, and at the time I wanted to give my all because I felt like I was doing something for my people. And if there's anything that I've really learned about myself in the last year, I am driven by to be a post for my people. I see it's not about me, but it's how do I create opportunities for people around me in my environments. South Auckland in particular, I feel very passionate about, because a lot of the times people bring us down for who we are, but actually there's so much colour, there's so much positivity if you actually step into it. And yes, there are some other shadows that we do have, but doesn't everybody? And so for me, I wanted to make sure that we were getting to spotlight who we were and what we are. So my mum and a former player, Amorangi Malesala, and I decided to write a haka for our team, And in that haka were words that in English that the team had summarised of what they hoped they would be, or they would be seen by the fans in terms of wahine toa, warriors, but also gracious women who were these representatives. So I guess for me, I know my superpower is I've always been Māori, I will always be Māori, and I will always have a connection to Tāmaki Makaurau, but in particular South Auckland, because that's where I'm from. I don't have to play for that team to not still have that connection, and don't get me wrong, it's going to be very, very weird being on another side, because I was a foundation member and I have been a captain for so many years. But I feel like even in the Silver Ferns environment, I've always been someone who has helped aid or uplift tikanga Māori within that environment for the betterment of our people. But I also feel like we've always had the right to have a voice and to be celebrated.
Man, I love that. I love that. Well said, because it is. Obviously, you need to be proud. And I love that you said it, I'm proud Māori. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. I'm proud Māori. And do you find it in this day and age, for some people, I know a lot of people now are kind of like coming back to the culture and trying to search their identity and lineage and heritage. But have you seen people in the past, even now, more so now, Maia, that there's still some people who are quite whakamā in terms of the culture, or because they can't speak te reo or whaasamoa? Do you kind of see that even amongst your peers who are of Māori descent or Pasifika?
Yeah, definitely. I think I've had a similar question or conversation with my partner, and he's questioned me about how I identify myself. So I always say I'm Māori. I'm Māori because I know exactly where I come from. But on my mother's side, on my grandmother's side, she's part Italian. And that's my Pākehā side, my European side has Italian heritage, and I assume English and other sort of European heritage, but I often don't say it because I don't know exactly where. And in my relationship with knowing who I am on my Māori side, there is a pepeha. You know where your mountain is, you know where your river is, you know all these points of significance, and I can't communicate that about my other whakapapa, about my other genealogy, and that's something that I'm a little bit ashamed about, because I don't want to go to an Italian person and say, I'm Italian too, and then they ask me from where, and I have no answer. And so I can see that within myself, and I can see that within other people who have that disconnection from maybe their parents. Actually, this year I took one of our girls who born and raised in Australia, in Queensland. She came to the Stars and she was Māori, but her dad didn't have the best upbringing where he was from, and he's from the Chatham Islands, a small little place. And so we got the opportunity, thanks to Air Chats, to travel to the Chatham Islands to meet family and to take her first steps on her land that she always felt disconnected to and never knew, like she knew of it but didn't know of it, and to go on that cultural journey with someone is probably one of the biggest gifts I could have given, because I could see this woman start to reclaim her identity and who she was, and be able to meet relatives for the first time, and I could see this bit of herself start to fill up again. So I think there's many of us in different certain situations, whether you have your language or whether I am Italian, and no one can take that. No one can take whakapapa away from you. No one can try and quantify what percentage that really grinds my gears. Like, I am Māori. I don't have to tell you what percentage of Māori I am. I am Māori. I am Italian, and I am English, and probably many other European whakapapa too. So, but it is a journey. That's
awesome. Beautifully said. She looks Italian, eh? You can see it.
Do I? Where?
Yeah, you look Italian.
Really?
Just that.
In my mug? I thought I looked like my dad.
No, you do. You look. There's an Italian resemblance. But I love it what you said. I love it because this is full of confidence, and it's really empowering. Like you said with your friend to the Chatham Islands, very empowering, and also the connection. You mentioned Amorangi Malisala.
Yes.
Now, I know her when she was a little girl. Now, because I was good friends with her dad, Malisala.
Uncle Mao.
and Uncle Ray, and so she probably doesn't know who I am anymore, but she's done some amazing things, and I love it that you guys, because she's obviously half Samoan, Māori, proud Māori as well. But
that family I admire
yeah,
because they've been able to raise their kids trilingual and very confident in who they are as Māori, as Samoan, and being able to be so eloquent in 3 languages. And that's something to really celebrate. I will always be in awe anytime Amo speaks, especially when she bangs out both her ngangana Samoa on the side of her reo. So very beautiful, very, very amazing whānau.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You haven't got any Samoan in you, because the way you pronounce those Samoan words, you sound like you got some Samoan in you. I don't know.
I'm not Samoan. But I did live in a Samoan household for 8 years, so I can understand, and it's not too far off Māori, to be fair. There's so many similarities between our Pacific and Māori reo, so I can understand.
Yeah, okay, that's good. I'll just keep it.
Yeah, you better be careful, eh?
Better be quiet, eh?
Yeah.
But in saying that, Maia, have there been, like, obviously you said that you do the karakia, you represent tangata whenua and you're in the team, and you're proud Māori. Has there been, like, kind of, when it has been not well received in some of the, and I don't want to throw you under the bus or throw anyone else under the bus.
I'm trying to think.
But have you kind of had a sense like, this is who I am as a proud Māori, I do the karakia, and you go, someone's looking, but like, what are you doing that for?
There has been a time, and it was a while ago now, but as a part of the Ferns, maybe at least 5 years ago, we were gifted a haka from Te Wānanga o Raukawa, based in Otaki. And they had written a haka and had composed actions to this haka. And I remember we learnt it, but we never actually ever performed it to anyone outside of that. And I find this a little bit challenging, because when people choose to write, compose, and also put actions to something, this is a gift, this is a taonga. So if a taonga is going to be given to you, you need to be able to take care of it. And so some ways in which I see this haka that was written years ago, we didn't take care of it, because it has never been performed and it was never transitioned. This was probably at a time prior to the current coaches, so it would have been very early on in my Ferns career. But it's a thing, it's probably a discussion or a conflict that I have with myself, is that people can ask for all these, they want their kai karaki, they want someone to be able to do a prayer, they want someone to bless their food, and they want someone to tick a box to say that there was some cultural aspect that made this appropriate. But when it comes to the processes that come along with that sometimes, in terms of what makes it tika and pono, what makes it right and true, by being given a gift and not taking care of it, that's probably against it.
Jeez. So to this day, it hasn't never been performed, never.
No, I don't think we ever did, because there were obviously in teams you've got them very diverse and multicultural. We had that in our SARS team when we did our haka, and I think at that time with Ferns, it was some people felt uncomfortable performing it, and it was very out of their comfort zones. But what I've seen throughout the other franchises within New Zealand, I think it's about just not that they always want to do it justice, but they're too scared they don't want to make anyone feel like they're messing up or they're not putting their full intent in. But I think what's been beautiful among the ANZ Premiership teams is they've been able to jump past that barrier and actually, fully jump into it. But that's something that we hadn't done back then, early times in the Ferns when I was there.
Wow. Oh, that's good. That's good to know. You mentioned being uncomfortable or uncomfortability. I don't know. I was in two minds, Maya, to even bring this up, and obviously it's in the public. Do you know where I'm going?
I know where you're going.
I know where I'm going. Obviously, you mentioned coaches and so forth. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Dame Noli Toru. And so, what is happening? I don't know, I'm not privy. Obviously, I'm not privy. But you might be in the know. What's happening with all that the incident around Dame Noli? Or what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
Well, I can be upfront and honest. Yeah. I do not know. So I wasn't a part of any player review. I actually found out this was all going down an hour before it came public to media, and I wasn't told by anyone within the netball community. It was told elsewhere. And so I was in complete shock. I think the situation as a whole, it's not, I feel sorry for everyone involved, because I think what people forget is, yes, we sign up to be public figures, but this is our lives. Yeah. These are our lives that we're living. And the fact that I've had people comment on my Instagram telling me, I keep hiding them, but I screenshot it and send it to my whānau and being like, these people are out the gate. They were pretty much blaming me that I don't have a backbone and this was my doing. And I was like, serious? Yeah. And I was like, I can honestly put hand on heart. I had no idea. I haven't been a part of anything, and I'm not privy to any information. And yeah, supposedly there was a player review, but I wasn't a part of that. And I know I wasn't the only one a part of that. So I don't know what's true. I don't know what's false. It's probably actually not a bad place for me to be in personally, because I can hand on heart be upfront and honest about where things are at. But I just think these are our lives. And so what you hear, I don't think anyone should be scrutinized all up. But I just know in my experience with Knowles is I've felt like she's always cared about the person before the player. And I don't know what's happening in this situation, but I think everybody needs wraparound support.
Jeez. Yeah, well, obviously I don't know anything. I just read what's on the media and the papers. Oh man, what's going on here? Obviously, it seems like it's player versus coach kind of.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I don't know. It's not banter, but kind of shambles. But yeah, because what is she like? Because to me, when I used to see her. Oh, man, big fan. And I just think this lady, she's just hard. She just knows what she wants, and she's real task focused, and she brings the best out of players. And so is that the case, or am I just seeing things for what it is?
No, like I said, I've always personally felt that Knowles has cared about the person first, and then and the player. And to me, it's something that I've really resonated with, because they're in that relationship between person before player, is that there's always duty of care, and there's always a holistic approach with Knowles. And I've personally benefited from that, because there's definitely been times where outside of Ferns or in Ferns, I might have felt a bit low and vulnerable in netball, and I've had a conversation with her and I felt like I was heard, and I felt like she listened. And in some part of me, it made me feel, like what I was saying or feeling was valid. Yeah. And she might not have said anything to the context of the conversation I was having with her, but just, I can't explain the aura she gives, but she just made me feel, heard. And so I think it changes because my position, like I'm currently not in the Sewer Ferns, but when I have been in the Ferns the last 10 years, I've probably now are in maybe like a second tier of leadership. So I'm not in the leadership group. I'm not privy to any of those like conversations that they have, but I've always felt like I've been able to add my value in wider team senses. Cool. And it's a shit show. To be fair, it's just a shit show what's going on, and I'm just I just hope people are supported.
Yeah, and I like what you said. Sometimes obviously scrutinize. Do scrutinize regardless, and more so if you're in the public eye.
Yeah.
You know, you obviously people know who you are, and for those people, I don't. Where does that come from, Maya? Because now they're just jumping on the bandwagon. Hey, Maya, it's your fault. It's like people just come up with some random things.
Yeah, they mess like. It's quite hilarious what types of people they are. They're like, they look like they're burner accounts. So one of them that I looked at them, I was like, if you're going to call me a bitch, because that's what they did. They're like, what a bitch. I was like, I'm going to come and see what you look like. And it's literally, they have one photo that's from 2018 and it's not even of their face. It's of like some mixed like Chiefs All Blacks jersey in there. And so I'm like, people can make all these comments, and yes, we sign up to be a part of, like, we sign up to make ourselves available to be a part of the national women's team in a leading sport within this country. But do you want to, here's my bib. You want to have a go and see how easy it is? Because yes, you have all these coach couches and keyboard warriors, but like, do you never see what actually happens behind the scenes? You actually have never stood anywhere near a court to try and see what it's like. And we're people, like, these are our lives, and the people that are going through this situation, they don't need to hear it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that point. It's very valid, because you know you get a lot of people, and I can imagine a lot of people, if you have a bad game, if you lose against Australia, people are commenting, and they just, for some reason, they just jump on board and just on the bandwagon. Oh, you're useless, you're rubbish, you guys are shit, and all that kind of stuff. I was like, oh wow, was it, man? And you're absolutely right. And unless they are able to even jump on the court or even know the rules and so forth, and people think they have all this power to say all these things online, which is very sad, because it's part and parcel.
And it's hilarious in the fact that, yes, it's part and parcel, but the same people that are bringing you down are probably the first people to like hype you up in the background and want to like, and you get that with family too, eh?
And our people are
the worst. And the ones that have been messaging me are my own people. And my thing here is that, you know, like, I think what I appreciate is when I've gone through struggles, I care about who makes the effort to reach out to me the most, because every auntie and uncle and cousin and koro and kuia comes out of my woodworks when they want tickets and I've made a grand final. Everyone wants to see, like, is asking my mum for a seat in her car to come to games. But it's actually the people who show up when you're at your lowest, because they genuinely love you, and they will battle through they'll go to war. They don't even know what war they're going to. They don't even know where the war is, but they turn up. And so that's the people I think are the ones that you need in your corner. Yeah,
and I'm glad you brought that up as well, because those in your corner. And it has, obviously, there have been countless times, Maya, when you felt like, man, you're a bit of a lull, you're in your hard times. Maybe you can share, I don't know, maybe you can share a little bit of when there were times like, oh, I just don't know, I'm just not in a good headspace, and I'm not in the right kind of frame of mind.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I've been in it in this last year. For those who have watched netball and Netball Fanatics and the ANZ Premiership, they would definitely see that, I was going through it, and I was pretty much going through it the whole year. And as much as I was trying to acknowledge things to myself, to other people, I thought that would be the answer to my salvation and help me get back into playing well. But it just wasn't. And it wasn't because I think I've learnt that I'm at a different stage in my life. I've been playing for 10 years, and the biggest part that was the driving force and why I played, or sport in particular, was about the people and the relationships. And so I debuted at 18, and my best friend also debuted for the Northern Mystics. So I went down to the Pulse, she played at the Mystics, and it was the first time her and I playing against each other since we were at high school, like our first year of high school. We'd played in every single team together. Wow. And so these friendships over the years that I've built, a lot of them have been around my best friends and playing netball. And slowly it came to this year and things had changed for me. My best friend had moved to another team. The dynamics and the relationships in my current team had changed a lot, and I probably was on my own waka, and at times someone who loves to be in a space, or thought I had helped create a space that accepted everyone for who they were, and it slowly just changed for me. And I felt alone, and I also felt that the direction where things were going wasn't somewhere where I think we just started to go in two different directions. And for me, that was a massive part in my move to the Mystics, was that I needed to rediscover myself again. I needed to see who Maia the netballer was without the anchors of her friendship. Like, why is Maia in the game? Like, it needs to be more than just anchoring myself to specific people. It needed to be, how do I want to evolve? How much of myself do I want to give? Because I felt like I had burned myself out, and I was running at 1% every week, and nothing else was sort of filling it up for me. And for now, I decided part of my role at Stars, whether I took it on or whether other people asked for me, but it wasn't uncommon to go and pick up someone's dress from the printers. It shuts at 5 and it's 4:30 and I have to get there, which isn't my job. My job is to turn up and train and play. It wasn't unusual for me to have to do the cultural side of things, and I just think I did a lot outside of what I was actually paid to do in my job description, and that just sucked so much life out of me in the end, when normally my life outside of netball can be quite chaotic and can be quite unstable. And so netball was always the thing that kept me focused, kept me settled and on track. It was my happy place. And so suddenly netball wasn't really a happy place anymore for me. My life out of netball was a lot more settled than it had been in the past, but obviously there were ups and downs in that. So I had nothing where I really felt it fully accepted and safe, and that people were going to take care of me. And I think now I'm just in a new form of rediscovery. And apart from my partner, who has really pulled me and dragged me by my hair, dragged me by my ears, the amount of times that it was physically, I didn't want to get out of bed most days. He picked me up, and cool. He, for anyone that knows us, we're very, very different people. We're on polar opposite ends, but somehow we work. And he was my safe space. And even in some of my whānau, I don't like talking to them about netball. So he was the driver to tell me, he's like, we need to find a space where you can be you. And you only have to be you, and you just turn up and you do your best, and you're just a player, and you come home and you head into something else. So I'm fine. This is actually the first time I've talked about it, about about how things have been for me this year, for someone who's normally very PC. But I am excited for a new lease of life, and to see where Maia the netballer goes and how she reinvents herself and the way she feels about the game.
Wow. Props to you, Maia. Thank you very much for being upfront and honest about it, and not being PC about it, and just giving us an answer like, oh, okay, we'll just kind of brush over and we'll just deflect and just move on to the next question. Thank you very much. And props to like you said, to rediscover. It's very insightful. Very insightful, Maia, in terms of, hey, just rediscover who I am. Because can you imagine those individuals who are probably just stuck there? You mentioned burnout. You mentioned that you felt like there was, I'm a netballer. Then now people are just expecting so much from me in this sphere, in this space. And so, what were you doing? Because maybe for those who are listening, or maybe for the viewers, like, what were you doing to try and juggle besides Liam? And props to Liam, mad props to you, Uso. And so, what were you doing? How were you juggling all of this? And were you keeping up a brave front to say, hey, I'm all good, as we usually do sometimes?
At times I felt like, in terms of life that was happening outside of netball, I have a very small whānau. My dad passed away when I was 18. Early 19. So I've got a brother and my mum and my stepdad, and it's us. And so my mum has, in the past, she's had lung cancer, and so during COVID, I was her primary full-time carer. I was washing her, I was putting clothes on her, I was feeding her, I was giving her meds, and then I was going to training. And then so my mum's got a history of her health can be quite unstable. Some of it is self-inflicted because she just doesn't want to go to a doctor and go get a hip surgery that I've only just convinced her to do. But that can be quite a juggle. And my mum sold our whānau home in Hillsborough about 3 or 4 years ago and moved to our home in the Hokianga in the far north in Opanoni. And so that's 4 hours away from Auckland. So I can feel I feel like I'm torn apart between trying to be a carer of or a po for my whānau, but they live so far away, and taking care of business while not having a normal job. Like, I don't have a 9-to-5 job Monday to Friday where I have weekends to just be able to go up there. I play on the weekends and I still train 6 days a week. So that juggle can be quite hard. And then I'm very heavily involved in my partner's family and his whānau. So we've got our 2-year-old niece that we're juggling, trying to get to kohanga some days, or our own chaos as individuals, our own chaos, lovely chaos as a couple. But trying to fit that in with netball, it was so consuming for me because for my whole career, I've only done netball. I've been a full-time athlete, so I've only ever focused on netball. So my emotions, my goals, everything was dependent on whether I made a squad, whether I made a fitness test, whether I made a tour, a team, because in Ferns you get match fees, and so that's mostly how you make your money in Ferns, was being able to suit up in the 12 and get paid match fees whether you got on the court or not. So my whole livelihood financially has been dependent on netball, and I've been lucky that it's been able to be a full-time job, but we don't get paid these glamorous sums of money. There's not endless money to burn. So now making myself unavailable, that was really scary, because now I had to find a job, a real job. And it might sound dumb, but I've never had to. And I feel like I've missed out a part of my life of, being able to go through uni like normal people and go get a job straight after uni. I'm very privileged because all my uni was paid for on a Prime Minister's sports scholarship, and I've been able to do something that 0.01% could only ever dream of. So I think I had to weigh up, am I missing out on something? Because this is such a small niche and a once in a lifetime opportunity that not many people get. But it has been scary to juggle all these things, and I'm only learning now, like, that's part of the reason why we've moved back to the whānau farm, is to save some money, be surrounded by whānau that love us and give us time to, not feel like we have to be rushed into just getting a job for job's sakes. Like, don't worry, whānau, I've saved some money. I'm not that stressed, and I am doing things on the side to dabble and see what do I love and what do I enjoy. Sorry, I went way off there.
No, Maia, just perfect. I love what you said, because not like you said, we said it several times. Not privy to, people think, just look at the screen. Oh, Maia Wilson, she's an amazing athlete, silver ferns, so forth, and all that kind of stuff, all that jazz. But they don't see the actual person, what's been behind the silver ferns, behind the sports. You look at what you just mentioned. Looking after your mum, the whānau, and then you have to kind of juggle sports and all that. And, it's like you said, not everyone can do what you do. Not everyone is a professional athlete, can become a professional athlete. And I want to ask you this, because I got a son, he's 15 years old, he loves football. As you can tell, the football, soccer, And that's his goal. That's his goal, Maia. He said, Dad, get me out of this country. I need to go to the UK. He's just come back from Solomon Islands, representing Samoa OFC. And that's his dream. And so, and I said to him, and there are times where he's like, man, and whilst he was in Samoa, I don't care. But he was playing left back or right back. That's not his position. He's never in his whole entire career while playing being left back or right back. And I thought, and whoever the coach was, yeah, you know who you are. But he's an attacker. He's a striker, attacking midfielder and winger. And so he went on a low. He's like, Dad, his confidence like shot. Like, Dad, I don't want to be here. I want to get out of here. I don't want to take me back home. This is what's going on here. I don't want to do it. And so his confidence was down. So, and when you were saying, hey, there was times where you just went through some hard times, and maybe the passion, the fuel's not there to play netball. What do I say to, not only to my son, but what do I say? Can you say, or words of advice can you say to those who are athletes who are going through the same or similar situation? Like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what to do. I'm on a bit of a low at the moment or down. What do you say to them to say, come on, get up, and just keep going? Like I could say, people like, you're not athlete, you're not a professional athlete, Dad. You know, look at me, just be quiet, Dad. Pretty much.
That's what I say to my mum.
You're on the sidelines, Dad. I can say whatever, but he's like, oh, whatever. But because you are a professional athlete, what do you say? What kind of advice can you give to those who are like, man, in this situation, like, the passion's not there?
The one thing someone said to me that really resonated with me this year is like, find your why. Find your why. And it might sound cheesy, but as I was in my journey of trying to sort myself out, I identified what my why used to be. And the scary thing is I didn't know what my current why was. And that's okay. I think what these ebbs and flows, and although I really didn't enjoy majority of this year will build my character, and it will push me in a direction that will make me bigger than I ever thought I could be, or will push me into ways. It's made me feel really uncomfortable, and this dumbness of saying you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I don't want to do that. Like, can't life just be honestly, if life could just be from A to B and it was so linear and so easy, like, I would sign me up for that. But unfortunately, that's not life. And I think the best thing that I've identified is who are the people that that will support me. And there's some people like my mum. Mum doesn't talk to me about netball. I don't talk to her about netball because I do the same thing. Have you been in my position? Have you played here? No. So you don't know what I'm going through. And yes, you've been at every single game. Been watching it since I was however years old. You haven't lived it. You haven't been on the court. So sometimes it's not the parents, bless your souls, even though you probably do know, like, it's just going to go over our heads. But I have really rested on, I'm someone who likes logic. So I've gone to people who I think are quite logical and can disconnect from the emotions. Because sometimes especially when we're low, we're so high on emotions and we can be so biased to where we're at that situation. I just need someone to steady me into being what is actually true facts. So if I'm a better attacker, I need to go to people who will, do they say that? Am I a better attacker? What gaps do they see in my game, and how can they help me push me to where I need to be? And normally what I've learned, it's all about networks. And sometimes, unfortunately, our pathways that are designed to build us up, they're not fit for everybody. So maybe you are amazing and you might not be getting picked for that team, but maybe you just that team wasn't fit right for you. The system or the structure wasn't fit for you. And I feel like I'm one of those people in my sport because I am, most Māori Pacific women in particular, we're big boned and we're strong. Sometimes I reckon we can lift heavier than any men you put in front of us. Like, I know there's some people who go to the BFT down the road that are women that can lift, like they can squat over 200 kgs. And Jeez. It's our power, it's in our legs, it's in our arms. And I feel like I have defied some ways of my peers are all very lean and they're fit. Just because I look different to them doesn't mean that I'm not as good as them. So yeah, defying the odds, systems might not be made for us, but how do we go and find those systems that will fulfill us?
Man, good advice, Maia. Good advice. Hard out. I feel like I was getting a growling.
Nah, my mum's getting a growling. She's going to listen to this. She's going to be like, you shush your mouth.
I was like, you're telling me, okay, I'm sorry. I feel like saying, I'm sorry, Maia. But it is. It's so true what you said, because I'm quite emotive. Like when I'm watching myself, like, come on, you should do this. This card, the ride back home, the card ride back home, and then I look at myself, like, man, you didn't do this, didn't do that. And my son, he's looking at me like, do you play football, Dad? I was like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. Where's my wife? She's more the logical. She's like, no, this is what you need to do. And so I get all worked up. It's this, you should have done this. And he's like, you don't play football. And I get it. You're absolutely right. I get it. And I love what you said in terms of the systems. Sometimes that team may not necessarily be for you, or the coaching stuff, whatever it is. But great advice. I wish he was here. He said he was going to be here. He said he was going to come and sit down on this one. I said, hey, Maia Wilson's coming. Hey, you're 15 years old. You're 15 years old. Get out of here. But no, I'll introduce you to him. But good advice, Maia. Because obviously a year off, Silver Ferns. Has it been very hard for you to not play for the Silver Ferns? It was just like, okay, this is just part of the journey right now. But how has that decision impacted on you?
Yeah, in different ways. Even just leading up to making the decision was really hard. I think for me, the first step, I was like, if I had to write a pros and cons list of like, why would I still play, was pretty much the question I was still going around. And the main thing that came out of it really was like the financial stability of it. And there was that, and then to make the Silver Ferns, you got to make a fitness test. And like I said, I haven't been there this year. Mentally, I have been really low, and my whole emphasis has been on trying to make this damn test. And I think in the end, I didn't make it, but I chose to not rerun it in the end before the period. And I was like, you know what? I'm not getting it because my head's just not in the game. My head is just, I need to take some time off to actually look within. I need to go see psychs. I need to work on myself so that I'm in a space to be able to be free and to let go of a lot of stuff. I probably had my own hang-ups and maybe my own trauma with the game. Not with anyone specifically, but just with the game, and a bit of identity crisis in a way. As I was talking to my psych early in the year, he said 27, 28 is a real fundamental age in life, because most people have just gone through some type of study, or they're working, and it's not a quarter life crisis, but it's sort of something like, what next? And especially for someone who had been in the same job for 10 years, most of it at the same company, you can feel quite too comfortable and too stagnant, and like no growth is coming. And I realized that in amongst all of this, if I was to try and make myself, like if I wanted to play for the Ferns, the main thing was the financial stability. And I said, that's not a good enough answer. And that's also another reason why I'm not making this fitness test, is because I'm not mentally well. And I wasn't unwell, but I just wasn't well enough to be able to give myself and commit fully to the Silver Ferns. My whole career, I have wanted to have the privilege to put on a black dress and call myself a Silver Fern. It is a massive part of my identity. I feel like I have given as much as I can. In recent years, I haven't been on the court as much as I was in the past, but it didn't matter whether I was on or off the court, because if one person won, we all win. And I know by my contribution of whether it's off court, it's on the bench, it's on the court, whether it's in the team meetings, I'm contributing and I'm helping all of us win. We are all winning together. And I knew the burnout, I was not in a space to be able to contribute like I wanted to. So in the decision to make myself unavailable, I felt free. Like, I felt really free. I was really gracious in how Noel supported me in making the decision. We had different conversations around it, and I felt supported in the ability to still access services such as like the psychologist who I have a really good relationship and had been through for a long time, or things like physio or S&C. They were really important. These are integral parts for me as a player, also with the aspirations to still go back into the squad if I was ever to be selected. But making myself unavailable right now meant that my journey in the black dress might be done. And I have to be okay with that, if that's the case. But at the moment, I am so grateful. I remember when the squad announcement happened, and I was, obviously the public didn't know that I had made myself unavailable until that squad announcement. And I was waiting to see how I was going to feel about it, because I anticipated that I would have some form of sadness to not be a part of that group. But as it came out, I had no feeling. and I knew in that I knew in that feeling I had made the right decision. And in hindsight now, I'm so proud of myself, because I feel like I'm growing as a woman. More importantly, who cares about the netball, but I'm growing as a woman and learning things about myself on A, how I deal with resilience, B, who does my other person really look like? Yeah. What does her environment look like? What are things I feel I'm back at school learning in the media broadcasting industry. I'm excited by it because, I'm a learner. I'm a student again in a field where I feel like I've got some potential, but I've got so much room for growth and learning. And that excites me to finally be able to tap into another part of myself.
Wow. Man, you're spitting some facts, and you're spitting some real deep stuff, Maia. And it's very admirable. So it really is. It really is. Like, for you to even say those words, and just the amount of courage, the courage to say, okay, well, and you even saying that this could very well be, I might not be able to be playing or be picked for the Silver Ferns, because you played 52 tests there, 52 tests. And for you me hearing you say that, like, oh, jeez. But for you to say, hey, but it's okay. It's okay. I've made the right decision. It's about me. It's about working on myself. And it's very insightful, Maia. It really is. Really insightful. It seems like it's the transition. We talked about transition tonight, the whole night. Transition. You're progressing into this new and evolving, even more so. It's not just a netballer, but Maia, the person, figuring out who you are. What else am I good at? What else is outside of netball? It's exciting, Maia.
Yeah, exciting.
Really exciting. In terms of the media, you fit like a glove with the media. Whatever it is, wherever the road leads, Maia, you fit like a glove, and you know how to carry yourself. You're very well spoken, very articulate, and it seems quite natural.
Yeah, but as I'm listening to myself, there's some of my answers that can cut down 50%, so that when people are trying to listen, I'm not going off on a tangent and making people go sleep on the other side, but articulate. But there's, like I said, more room for growth. Yeah,
and I like that. I think that's the key component, Maia, because some people, I've arrived. I know this. I'm an expert. I'm a professor. I know all this stuff. But like you said, it's just keep learning. You keep learning. You keep growing. You keep learning, because we never stop learning. And I think that's the beauty of it. That you saying that, like, no, I need to keep learning, because I think the minute you think I have arrived, I've come to the place where I know everything now. What that needs to be said or understand, that's where we put ourselves in danger. And I love it that you said that, and you're very self-aware of who you are as a person, and your identity, and you're still learning. And I love that. Maia, just because you're still quite very young, 27 is just, I must be, 27, you're like, oh my gosh, thank you, 27. And so before you leave this earth, because I like to ask, I guess this, what is Maia, right now, in this present moment, what does Maia want to be renowned for or known for? The legacy of Maia Wilson.
Yeah, I've thought about this as I was reflecting on my time in netball in particular, and my whole why has always been by the people for the people. So as long as I'm making a difference in some part, some shape or form within my community, I feel like I've done my job. If I've been able to elevate people onto platforms or given them opportunities to be able to find a voice or learn who they are outside of their current environment, I just want our people to know if they dream they can genuinely be. And sometimes all they need to see is one face to be able to have some representation in there to see that they can actually do it.
Yeah, my lord. And you got it down packed, man. You just, because some people they struggle. Oh, my legacy is, and but you just knew straight off the bat that's what you want to do, be remembered for, or the legacy. Maia, because I often wonder, because media, you think I'll do the media, and I often wonder, like, okay, what else is out there? Because people might think, well, who is Maia? You've been talking about who's Maia, trying to figure out who Maia is. What's one thing that no one knows about you but you wish that you could tell people or the public? This is what I want people to know, but if given the opportunity, what's one thing about Maia that kind of really, very kind of really, not lavish, but really kind of like out there, like, man, this is who I am. This is part of who I am. But I wish I had the opportunity to let people know.
If I was going to be funny and I'm not funny, people know that I can't dance. I am the one brown person that can't dance and can half sing on. No, I have, the only rhythm I have is clapping my hands, and there's nothing going on downstairs because 2 left feet is here. People say all Māoris can sing. I like to say I cannot, or I'm good enough that I can hold a tune. But whether that's on pitch or on key is always questionable. That's if I was being funny, but that's all true things. I think for me, something that people probably don't know is that I have a dream of going into governance. Oof. Yeah, I'd love to go into governance. My dad, who passed away, had a lot to do with our iwi governance, and he was on our marae committees, iwi committees. He was a part of our treaty settlement process, and so in honour of helping to continue that legacy, I think part of this stage in my life is continuing to learn because I want to give back in service of my people that are here, that have passed and that are yet to come, in particular for my own future children, so that they know that they know where their 2 feet can stand really proudly, and they are able to, luckily enough on my dad's side, be able to actually be on their marae and maire, but also reconnect back to the far north on my mum's side, because we weren't raised there. It's less of a connection for me. So by her moving up north, that helps strengthen my connection and knowing who I am and where I'm from.
Wow. Man, I'm still stuck on the dancing part. You say you can't.
Yeah, I still can't dance.
No, come on, Haka. Come on, Maia.
Yeah, do you see? Yeah, we just stamp our feet in one place sometimes, all the basic ones. Like, that's why they put me in the second row and they chuck me on the wings, because you're never looking at the wings. So honestly, it's so true.
Oh my gosh, but I'm sure you can. I'm pretty sure you can sing.
I can hold a tune, but my partner tells me he's a better singer than me, so he's like, yeah, you can hold a tune, but maybe I just leave the cast. I'll leave my singing to the shower.
I'll ask you a few questions before we wrap up, because just amazing conversation on kōrero, Maia. But Maia, just to throw it out there, because it's got nothing to do with anything serious, but because I love sports and I love movies and so forth. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Of all time, oh my partner's gonna hate me. Sounds dumb. I love Harry Potter, and I'm a Harry Potter nerd. And when I say this to him, okay, this is a man who loves Tarantino.
Yeah,
so
Tarantino,
so he watches Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He's got a Django tattoo on his arm. So when I say Harry Potter, I look to him like I'm the biggest loser in the world. But there's no one. I like fantasy, so Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, all those sorts of things. That's something people might not know about me. I am a Harry Potter freak.
There you go, Harry Potter. What's the Hogwarts there?
Isn't that enticing stuff? You're expecting this big movie like what, Love and Basketball, or like something big,
like that,
Coach Carter, or
Coach
like
Carter.
something good, eh? And I give you Harry Potter.
Hey, it's all good. No judgment, no judgments. Harry Potter. Hey, music, because I have music as well. For me, I think all tangata whenua can sing. I'll probably put you to the test, but probably we'll see. Favorite song, favorite genre, but what's your favorites? Or your favorite songs? Two songs that are like your top two.
I grew up with a lot like R&B, soul, but I grew up with my parents listened to a lot of like Luther Vandross, James Ingram, Barry White, Adija always played the same, those same party songs that your parents had on repeat. My mum and them would have parties like 4 days a week, and they were the same songs that would play for hours on end. But my personal favorites probably of the early 2000s is I love Nisha Mystic.
Yes.
Love Nisha, and was fortunate enough to work for Awa, the singer. Te Awanui Reid. So I worked with him for a little bit. So I love Nisha Mystic. My favourite song is Nisha 101, and that's the one song that if you wanted to try and get me to dance to, that would be the one that I would dance to, and I would sing to it. And then alongside of that, and you're not playing to that.
What's that track?
Oh, my mully's like is glued to the chair.
What's that track? Dancing Keeper?
Yeah. And my second one is I love Eddies and Reds and a Redna.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, getting stronger.
Getting stronger. Yeah. Oh, nice. Because how's it go? I like that. Because I love Nisha Mystic. I love Aradna and Eddie's. How's that song go again? How's it go again?
You can sing it.
Which one? Which other one? Because you know the
Which
lyrics.
ones?
You know the lyrics of Nisha Mystic and
You're gonna get me to sing in this. This girl has got no pipes.
Surely.
Nah. I didn't grow up in the church, so they didn't teach me how to sing.
Hey, I know some people who didn't be to church, but they can sing. Oh, well, what's the song? Or maybe you can sing along with me then, Maia. This is the first time we're going to do this. But since you seem like a real good sport, so what's our song again? Danton, what's the lyrics? Nisha 101? Because I don't know.
No, give a song. You just start singing a song. It doesn't have to be Nisha Mystic. Can you try?
What's the song? What's the song for us? Please get a song for because it'd be cool to get Maia to sing a song with us.
Oh my
with
God,
me.
people are going to out me.
What's any song? Because I'm not really good at the lyrics with
What's
Nisha
a song
101.
What's another song you know then? I can sing it with you.
He's a good lyrics.
Here's a thing.
Cool.
I remember one night we were having drinks with stars, and we posted a story of us singing "Getting Stronger," and at the time I got a reply from Nana, who is in Eddie's.
Yes.
And I got so embarrassed because Nana is first cousins with my ex-partner. So I remember I got so embarrassed that he could hear us singing to his song, and we were so flat and we were so off, and the person who wrote that song and starred in it decided to reply to my story. I felt so shamed.
What do you say?
I can't remember. It was years ago, but I just remember getting so embarrassed that I was singing Eddie's song and I got a story reply from Dana.
Oh, hey. He must have said something nice like, man, well done, girls.
Yeah, he did. It was really nice. And then I listened back to it in the morning when I was hungover, and I was like, oi.
Nah, it can't be. It can't be that bad. It can't be that bad. What's it go get? Listen to me.
So now you're going high. Oh, you're going an octave higher.
Listen to me. What's the lyrics?
Listen to me, I'm feeling afraid of something in my life that is wrong. Say that's all you're going to get from me because that's terrible.
Oh, no,
I can't sing.
See,
I honestly
you're
can't
lying.
sing. That's
You're
not even
lying,
on.
Maia.
I can hear myself on these bloody
said you couldn't even sing.
headphones. That's so off and so flat.
It wasn't
See,
even.
how embarrassing. And Nene got to hear that. Oh my gosh.
Listen, I love to sing as well, but that is not even flat, Maia. I'm being honest. You can sing, sis.
Nah,
you can sing.
No one's going to ask me to be on New Zealand Idol. Oh, wait, that's not a thing anymore. No one wants... I'm not the next Ben Lummis, guys.
Oh, wolves. sad.
I wish I could sing.
Oh, you can. But it sounds like we got it on. So you can sing. You can sing. See, you just proved to us that you can sing. You can sing hard out.
Oh no.
I know Dad's trying to figure out a song, but hey, Maia, I tell you what, it's been an absolute pleasure, Maia. Oh, very insightful, Maia. You really are. Because sometimes people think, what's that adage in terms of athletes? Oh, athletes. That's what they're just good at. They're just good at being athletes. But there's a lot of athletes who are very, very intelligent. And we've had a few athletes who've jumped on the podcast. And just like you, very intelligent, very insightful. Just something about these athletes. And you have the switch, Maia. It's just that real killer.
Switch?
The switch, that killer when you're on the court, on the pitch, on the field.
Oh, yeah.
Switch, you're like, oh my gosh, what is that the same person? What a killer, absolute killer. And I've seen you play. Killer. Absolute killer. And then when you're off the pitch and just having the corridor with you, it's like, what an amazing person, lovely person who's level-headed and got a good head on their shoulders. Really are. And, you say you're not funny, but you are funny. You're quite humorous, but very intelligent, Maia. Very intelligent. And whatever the future holds for you, Maia, you, Liam, whatever it is, I wish nothing but the best, Maia. And it's exciting because you're progressing, you're evolving, and you're young. I'm just saying it. I'm just speaking it into existence right now. You're gonna have some more. You're gonna be kept some more times, several times. And I'm just saying for the sake of saying it. I really believe so. With the way you carry yourself and who you are, it's inevitable, Maia. And so, Maia, all the best in whatever you do, in whatever you choose. I can guarantee you, I'll probably see you in media, whatever it is that you choose to do. It's gonna be amazing. And so, Maia, lo love soifua, Maia, whaftai tele lau for your time. And Godspeed to you, and thank you so much for the kōrero and the taranoa tonight.
Thank you for having me. I hope this is probably the most unfiltered I have probably been. Part of it is because of you and how you portray yourself. Another part is probably the stage of my life that I'm at now. I feel a little bit freer. I don't have to put other people down to say my story. I feel like I can say my truth, and that's just what it is. It's not saying, yeah, this is because of you or you're a bad person, but sort of just speaking my truth into existence, and hopefully people saying, yeah, I do have a switch, and hopefully people see more of the person.
Yeah.
And how, no, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I feel like I'm genuine, and I feel like I am authentically me, whether you like it or not. And some people don't, and that's kei te pai too. Like, that's all good. We don't all have to be mates. But, there's more to me than a shoulder bump that you see in a game, or the way that I hold myself and use my body as my strength. A lot of people think I'm a bitch. And trust me, there are times that I can, because like I said, I am very black and white. But I think at the heart of me is great intent, and the want or need to do things in the best way that benefits everybody, not about myself.
Yeah. And you're not even blowing your horn as well. It is, I don't know, I just feel that aura, that vibe, like, the energy you have, Maia, like, you are. That's what you see is what you get, Maia. Yeah. And the thing is, it's nothing to do with you're right, it's obviously it's your problem. If you didn't like it, it's your problem. But it is your heart is for, like you said, for the people and for your teammates and for the betterment of whoever you are serving or playing with. Yeah. And so props to you, sis. Mad respects to you. And before we kind of Is because obviously it's mandate. Obviously we get about men. That the Coop Up is about men and how do we encourage our men go through hard times and to walk out their mandate to speak on purpose. What's one thing? What word of advice, not just for our men, but for our wahine toa? Because you are our wahine toa. What could you words of encouragement, words of inspiration from you, from Maia Wilson?
I think where I am in this stage of life is it's okay to take a step back. It's okay to look after yourself first, because if you're trying to give to everybody, you're going to run out. And I think in some times of low points and times of solitude is where you really find yourself and you really know what you're going to do to get yourself out of it and what you want. So whether that is, my mum always kept me humble as a kid and she made sure that I cleaned the bathroom and toilet. But if it meant that I cleaned the bathroom and the toilet as good as it could be, like that was a sense of achievement. Or my mum's always raised us to be if you want to be good at anything, you can be the best tea toweler on washing the dishes. You can be a prime minister if you wanted to be, or you can be a sports person, but you could also be the best mum, the best father. And I think those are the most important roles. Is my job, yes, I am a public figure because I play professional sport, but right now I'm just making sure that I'm the best me for me, but I want to be the best partner I can be. I want to be supportive. I want to be able to take care of my mum and my brother. I want to enjoy and be a person of love for my niece. And you know what, all the sporty accolades aside, if my whānau love me, then I've done a good job. If they're telling me that my shoes don't stink and that I've got stuff to do at home, I've got stuff to do at home. So the person I am at home is what I'm going to be more proud about than all the accolades.
Jeez. Maia.
You're going to get me to wash dishes now with my tea towel. Where's my tea towel?
I want to be the best tea towel. Maia, man.
To my
To your house, yeah, Maia. Maia, absolute pleasure once again, Maia. But we always give our guests a caricature, a gift. And so I always, these are my paintings. And so I paint and I draw these sketches and caricatures. And I always do a cartoon of how I envision the guest to be. And so on behalf of the Mandate team,
I'm so excited.
This is for you, Maia. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you. Oi, that's so cool.
It's a cartoon. I always thought I'd say, hey. And so, Maia, that's for you, Maia.
There's a twinkle in my eye too, eh? There's a little twinkle.
And I feel like it depicts who you are, Maia. You just got that real cheekiness, but you just got that real coolness about you, and you don't care. Cool. You don't care about how people perceive you, and just like you said, real authentic, Maia. Absolute pleasure, Maia, and thank you very much for who you are and what you're doing. Like I said before, all the best for 2025, for the remainder of the year, but more so for 2026 and the Northern Mystics as well. And so go well and just do the damage. Just
do the
go,
thing.
Yeah, do it. So once again, whānau, don't forget to subscribe. And once again, the amazing wahine toa, Maia Wilson, my cousin Maia Wilson, because my last name is Wilson as well. Petia Wilson. Maia Wilson. Mandate.